The sprawling, modern Croft family estate stood silent and imposing under the gray morning sky. A frantic housekeeper's scream shattered the peaceful silence of the grand home. Detective Sarah Vance arrived on the scene, her sharp eyes taking in every detail of the opulent foyer. She was led to the library, where a scene of chaos awaited her. The body of young Preston Winters lay on the floor, pale and still. A heavy crystal award statue lay nearby, stained with a sinister dark substance. "Secure the entire premises. No one leaves," Detective Vance ordered her team calmly. Her first witness was the pale and trembling housekeeper, Maria. "I came into dust, and I found him just like that," Maria stammered, tears in her eyes. "Was anything out of place? Anything unusual?" Vance pressed gently. "The French doors to the garden, they were unlocked," Maria revealed. Outside, Vance found faint scuff marks in the damp earth near the patio. It looked like someone had stood there, watching, waiting for a long time. The victim's best friend, Ethan Croft, arrived home, his face a mask of shock and grief. "Preston was here, working on our project. This can't be real," Ethan choked out. Vance studied him, noting the genuine pain, but also a flicker of something else. Later, the coroner confirmed the murder weapon was indeed the heavy award. "One single brutal blow to the back of the head," he stated clinically. It suggested a crime of passion, not a premeditated attack. Back at the station, Vance learned Preston and Ethan were tech rivals. Their startup, a promising AI firm, was the subject of a recent bidding war. Preston wanted to sell, but Ethan was fiercely against it, a colleague revealed. This was a powerful new motive. Ethan stood to lose millions. Vance decided to question Ethan again, this time more directly. "Where were you last night between 9 and 11 p.m.? She asked calmly. "I was at the cinema alone," Ethan stated, avoiding direct eye contact. "Can anyone verify that? Receipt? Did you use a card?" Vance pressed. "I paid cash," he said, his voice tight with defensiveness. His alibi was weak, and his demeanor was shifting from grief to irritation. Just then, Ethan's mother, Eleanor Croft, entered the room like a thundercloud. "This interrogation has gone on long enough, Detective," she declared coldly. "My son has nothing more to say without our lawyer present." As they left, Vance noticed a fleeting look of fear in Ethan's eyes. Was he afraid of being caught, or afraid of his mother? The forensic team called with a breakthrough. Fabric fibers on the door. "They're from a rare, expensive Italian wool blend," the text said. Vance remembered the elegant pantsuit Mrs. Croft was wearing. Had the imposing matriarch been in the library after all? She reviewed the housekeeper's statement again. The doors were unlocked. An unlocked door meant the killer could have been let in by someone inside. Vance dug into the history of the Croft mansion itself, uncovering a dark past. Decades ago, a previous owner had also died mysteriously within its walls. The house had been a bargain purchase for the Crofts due to its grim reputation. "The murder house stigma never bothered us," Mrs. Croft had told the press. But Vance wondered if the house's violent history had inspired new crime. She requested the original case file from the unsolved historical murder. The victim, then, was a business partner who disagreed with the family patriarch. The similarity to Preston's situation was chilling and undeniable. Vance confronted Mrs. Croft with a historical connection. "Ancient history, Detective. Are you now solving ghosts instead of crimes?" She replied with a cold smirk. But her composure seemed practiced, too perfect to be entirely genuine. Meanwhile, Ethan broke down during a follow-up interview. "I lied about the alibi. I was here, we argued, but I didn't touch him," he cried. He admitted they fought over the business sale, a vicious, personal argument. "I stormed out and drove around for hours to cool off," Ethan claimed. He had no proof of his drive, only his word against the mounting evidence. The fiber evidence and Ethan's confession pointed strongly to him. But Vance felt a nagging doubt. The pieces fit together a little too neatly. She decided to re-canvass the neighborhood in the dead of night. One reclusive neighbor finally recalled something crucial. The elderly neighbor, Mr. Peterson, peered through his blinds every night. "I saw a car that night, but it wasn't the young man's black sports car," he whispered. "It was a darker, older sedan parked down the street under the oak tree," he recalled. This changed everything. An unknown vehicle suggested an unknown player. Traffic cameras a mile away confirmed a vehicle matching that description. The plates were muddy, unreadable, a deliberate attempt at concealment. Vance re-examined the crime scene photos, looking for what she missed. Her eyes locked on a photo of the desk. Preston's laptop was missing. The housekeeper confirmed it. He always had his silver laptop with him. The killer hadn't just taken a life, they had stolen data. This was no crime of passion. It was calculated, a theft disguised as a murder. The tech rivalry was the key. Someone needed what was on that laptop. Vance requested Ethan's and his mother's financials, looking for anomalies. Mrs. Croft's accounts showed a large, recent cash withdrawal, enough to pay someone for a very specific, terrible job. The pieces shifted, pointing away from Ethan and toward a hired hand. But who was the hire? And who was the real mastermind? Vance knew she needed to break Ethan, to make him see the truth about his mother. "The car wasn't yours, Ethan. The money came from your mother's account," she stated flatly. Ethan's face crumpled, not in surprise, but in devastating recognition. "She said she was protecting me, that she was fixing my mistake," Ethan whispered, shattered. He confessed his mother had arranged everything after he told her about their fight. "She said Preston was going to ruin us, that he was a threat to our family's legacy." He gave Vance a name, Leo, a man his mother used for discreet problems. With this, Vance secured a warrant for Eleanor Croft's arrest. Police cars descended upon the Croft estate once more, lights slicing through the dusk. They found Mrs. Croft in her study, burning documents in the fireplace. "It seems you've been listening to my son's foolish stories, Detective," she said, not turning around. "Eleanor Croft, you are under arrest for the murder of Preston Winters," Vance declared. She offered her wrist for the handcuffs with an air of disdainful elegance. "I did what was necessary to protect my son from his own poor judgment," she stated to the cameras. Based on Ethan's information, Leo was apprehended at a gritty downtown bar. In his pocket was a key to a bus station locker. Inside the locker, they found Preston's silver laptop, untouched. The data confirmed everything. Preston was finalizing the sale, against Ethan's wishes. Leo, facing a life sentence, agreed to testify against Mrs. Croft to avoid the death penalty. He detailed the plan: wait for Ethan to leave, enter through the unlocked door, steal the laptop, and stage the crime. The blow was meant to be non-lethal, an accident that got out of hand. At her trial, Eleanor Croft showed no remorse, only cold fury at being caught. She was convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy, sentenced to life without parole. Ethan Croft, broken by guilt, pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact. He was sentenced to 10 years, a ghost of the ambitious man he once was. The Croft mansion stood empty once more, its legacy of tragedy forever sealed. Detective Vance stood outside its gates one last time, the case closed but offering no peace. She had solved the murder, but the cost of a mother's twisted love felt like a defeat. The story became local legend, a cautionary tale of ambition and corruption. Preston's family, though granted justice, carried an unimaginable loss. In the end, the real crime was the betrayal of trust by those closest to him. Vance returned to her desk, the empty chair a reminder of the weight of her duty. She opened a new file, took a deep breath, and began again.